Stamping over chromed nails. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. I am showing you this gorgeous look. And if you didn't know, you can stamp over top of a chrome nail. Now, if you're somebody who's struggling with chroming, struggling with stamping, I got you. I'm going to teach you how to do all that now. And we're using dip powder as our base, as that's my favorite way to do my nails, using dip powder. Dip powder is such a great way to get color on your nails without having to use gels. So what I'm doing, I wanted a very like springy, fun look, and I wanted to use this light pink as the base underneath a chrome, and then show you some of the ways that I get dip powder to work with chrome. So the first thing that you need to understand when you're working with chrome is that chrome shows everything. So every little imperfection that you have on your nails is going to show up when you're chroming. And I made some imperfections. I'm going to show you how I fix those to make my chrome look nice at the end. When you're using dip as your base for under chrome, you definitely want to focus on applying your dip base as thin as possible, making sure it's really even. And then since I'm using a flat color, as in this is just a plain solid, there's no shimmer, nothing in it, I really tried to focus on pouring it over, getting my application even. But as you're going to be able to see in the video as I'm like dipping each nail, the nails don't look that even. And let me explain why. I use peel base down on my natural nails. Well, I have builder gel down first. And then over my builder gel, I use peel base, and then I do my dip mani. So sometimes what you see happen in my videos is that I did not apply the peel base evenly. And so when it dries, it doesn't dry evenly because it's basically just an air dry nail polish that allows you to pop off your manicures faster. Whether you're using dip over top, you could be using Gel X, gel, nail polish, whatever. That's what is so awesome about peel base. You just pop your mani right off. But the downside to using it with dip powder is if you're like me and you're a little bit sloppy and messy and you don't apply your peel base evenly, then your dip's gonna look a little bit uneven on the top. But what are we gonna do about this? As you can see, I'm going through each nail and applying the dip powder, and I'm trying really hard to apply it as evenly as possible. But like I noticed my thumbnail just doesn't look as even as some of the other ones. I feel like my middle nail, my ring finger, and my pinky were way more even, which means from what I could, from doing my nails, like as I was doing them, I could tell I just did my peel based application a lot more evenly. Now, after I do the peel base on my nail over top of the builder gel, and then I let it dry, then I do a layer of dip base down over the entire nail, let that air dry, and then I start dipping my nails like normal. But even with that, sometimes I just apply the peel base so unevenly that my dip looks a little uneven. What I did to try to fix that was after I poured the powder over on each nail, I would lay my nail back into the powder to try to suck up a little bit of extra powder instead of doing a third layer, which I probably could have. I feel like it would have been helpful, but when I was doing my nails, I was doing them at night and I was really tired. So I was like, I'm only going to do so much because I knew I was going to do this step. Anytime I'm using dip liquids, I finish with clear dip powder. So clear dip powder is always my last layer of my dip nails, regardless of whether I'm using a solid, a shimmer, a flake, a foil, a glitter, whatever I'm doing. If dip liquids are what I use to dip, then the nails are getting clear dip powder on them. And the reason why it's so important to do it with even solids and shimmers too is because if what happens to me happens to you, like maybe your nails are a little bit uneven because you put too much peel base on, or maybe you're still learning and your nails just aren't as even because you're struggling, the clear dip powder gets into all the nooks and crannies of your nail. And then when you go to buff, you can make it look way more even. So it basically gives the illusion that your dip powders are more even than they are by using clear as the last one, because you can buff it really smooth. And that's my secret. That's one of my many secrets that I don't keep secret. And this is why I always encourage everybody to do clear dip powder as your last dip, is that it fills in all those nooks and crannies. And then when you go to file, you can file and buff really smooth, and you can't really tell that your dip is uneven unless you accidentally like miss a spot on your nail, or if you file through the clear dip powder. But I didn't do any of that. I was very careful, and it made sure sure that like I just buffed super smooth, and using really high quality liquids and high quality powders like I am here with the OG Dip powder liquids and this beautiful color called Marry Me, my nails didn't need much buffing, even with how I messed up and, made my peel base uneven underneath. So I do like to go through after I activate, after the clear dip powder, I buff my nails really smooth. I fix up any of the shape that got off by just with my hand file, kind of cleaning that up. And then I go in and I like to trace around my cuticle area and sidewalls with a nail drill bit. And that's how I get my really nice looking cuticle lines, because that's something that you really want to focus on too, is having nice clean cuticle lines so that when the chrome powder goes over top of them, it looks really even. After I was done buffing smooth, I cleaned my nails off with isopropyl alcohol, and we're getting to my absolute favorite part, is doing the chrome. It is so fun to chrome. It's way easier than you think it would be. But let's talk about how you can get it to look really even. So the first thing I like to do, I get out my gel base, gel top, because you're going to need both. And I make sure that I push all my cuticles back so I can get my gels nice and close to my cuticle lines without flooding them. You want to make sure that your gel base and gel top is applied as thin as you possibly can. Especially when I'm doing chrome, I really try to do this. You want it thin and you want it even. Now, not so thin that like it literally doesn't cover your nails, but you want to keep it as thin as you can so that your nails don't look super thick and so that your gel can be fully cured as well. I go in with my gel base first over my entire nail, and I make sure that I cap my edges. If any gets on your skin, just use some isopropyl alcohol on some kind of little nail brush or an angled cleanup tool, and then you just wipe that off before you cure. Now, you fully cure your gel base, so that can be anywhere from 30 to 90 seconds. Just make sure you follow whatever gel base instructions for the brand that you have. Make sure you follow their curing time recommendations. And then once you get your gel base fully cured, you're going to want to go in with your gel top. And this is where you extra have to be careful. So you want your gel top to be as even as you possibly can. And I've even seen people with their gel tops flip their nail over so it kind of self levels. I don't have to do that with the OG gels, but I know sometimes some of them don't self level as well, so that might help you. The more even that you get your gel top, the better, because that's what you're going to be rubbing the chrome in. And you want to do a half cure. So if your gel cures and it takes 30 seconds, you want to only cure it for 15. If it takes 45 seconds, you can still cure it for about 15 to 20 seconds, and then you rub the chrome in. So I like to use these little eyeshadow applicators, and the chrome that I'm using here is also from OG Dip Powder. It's called Briar Rose. It is absolutely stunning. It's a unicorn chrome, which means it gives like a different iridescent chrome look. It looks different over every color since it's a unicorn chrome. And I do the same process for each nail. I dip my little eyeshadow applicator into the chrome, and then I start rubbing. And since your top coat is only flash cured, it's partially cured, you don't want to rub so hard that you're messing up the gel. So you really just want to rub enough so that the chrome goes into the top coat, but you're not pressing so hard down that you're messing up the gel since it's not fully cured. And sometimes, like on some nails, if you didn't put enough chrome powder on the actual little applicator there, you just dip it right back in to the chrome powder and then put a little more on and keep rubbing it in until it is nice and smooth and even. Then what I like to do is I like to take the other side of the eyeshadow applicator, the clean side, and go back over the chrome, kind of rubbing it back in, really making sure that it is as even as I possibly can make it before I go through with actually I use an ombre brush. I go through with an ombre brush and dust off any of the excess chrome. That's going to give me that really clean look. It's going to give you that super chromed, beautiful effect. And what I like to do last when I'm doing this is I go around my nails with isopropyl alcohol and I just wipe off any of the chrome that's stuck on there, and then I finish curing my nails. So let's say you only cured 15 of the 60 seconds you need to cure the other 45. and then you can jump into your stamping. I always prep my stamping plate by cleaning it with pure acetone, just on a cotton ball or something like that before I go and actually use it. I really like to also use some kind of nail art barrier when I'm doing a stamp that's going to go over on my skin. This way I don't have to do as much cleanup on it. When you're applying the stamping polish, you want to make sure you have enough polish to cover the image, but not so much that you're flooding the plate. And that's going to really help that you're not having to scrape a ton of times to get too much polish off. You want to just scrape one time, two max. You want to scrape down at a 45-degree angle quickly and firmly, and then roll your stamper in the opposite direction that you scraped. And when I was stamping, the first image I picked up, I just wasn't crazy about it for my ring finger. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to grab another one. And you actually don't need anything down on your nails. You don't need any kind of sticky base or anything. If you stamp right away, once you have the image picked up onto your jelly stamper, then all you need to do is press it down and it'll stick so beautifully to the chrome. I absolutely love how nice that stamping sticks to chrome. You just want to make sure that you use actual stamping polish so that it sticks really nicely. Regular polish just does not pick up as well and doesn't stick as well. Then you can clean up your nails on some kind of little nail art brush or a cleanup brush and use pure acetone, or you can use even a non-acetone polish remover. I'm actually allergic to acetone, so I just use a non-acetone polish remover to get it off my skin. And then this is really important when you're stamping. You want to top with gel base because that's going to seal your stamped image in and keep your chrome sealed in nicely. If you don't put gel base down, most people are going to have their gel top peel off. And after you did all this work to get your chrome beautiful, to get your stamping looking great, you definitely don't want your top coat to peel off. So do a gel base down, cap your edges, do a full cure of that before you even go in with your gel top coat last. Cap your edges with the gel top coat as well. That's going to help you seal your mani-ins that last as long as possible. If you get any gel on your skin as you're putting your gel base and gel top on, and wipe it off with a little cleanup tool and some pure acetone or non-acetone polish remover. Now that you know how to chrome, check out this next video and we'll learn how to chrome with stamping. Thanks for joining me today, nail crew.